Do you want to get access to 250K plus in business funding without a personal guarantee, aka a PG, with only using your EIN number? Well, you need to watch this video all the way into the end, because I'm going to bring out something I have not seen anyone else talk about when it comes to getting access to business funding without a PG. So you need to stay tuned. Let's get it. What's going on? It's Colin Brown here for Business Credit Unlimited. All back, baby. Yeah. All right. So look, guys, this is very important. Let me get serious on this thing, because this is very important. I need you to understand this. Let me move myself up here. I need you to understand this. When it comes to getting business funding without a PG, there are requirements. You're not going to just start an LLC and then get access to business funding. It's not that easy, okay? So now for some of you, this is going to be right up your alley. Like, a lot of times people hear the term millionaire, which I think is starting to lose its esteem more and more as time goes. But either way, I think a lot of times people hear this term and they think that being a millionaire is just reserved for just a few hundred people. There are thousands of millionaires, okay? And there's thousands and tens of thousands of business owners that are generating millions of dollars at least annually in gross in their business. It's not as rare as what you would think it is. It's rare, but it's not like a 1 out of a million type thing, no pun intended. It's not. Like, a lot of people are doing it, so this may apply to you that's watching this video, or it may not. More than likely, it's not. Like, I'm not saying at the same time that the average person has $1 million business, but it's not as hard, or it's not as big of a big deal as you may think it is when you really break down the math. Of course, this is $83,333 that you have to bring into a business per month. For some of y'all, that may blow your mind, but it really depends on how long you've been doing this, the product that you sell, your experience level. If you have a business that's passed down to you, that's already been in business for, 10, 20, 30 plus years, all those different types of things. And these businesses, again, are in a lot more abundance than what people think. But either way, your business must be generating on average, I got on gross here, on average, $2+ million annually gross. Okay. Meaning before taxes, before expenses and things like that, you're going to want to be at $2 million plus. You really only need normally like a year plus in business. And we're going to read this in just a second. But if you came in here thinking that you're just going to get access to business funding, just starting up an LLC as a brand new business, you haven't generated any revenue yet, or you may even be doing well, you may be crushing it, right? You may be doing 250K a year, something like that. So that means you're doing like 12 to 15K plus per month. You're doing great. Or, well, in 250K, you know what I mean? Like more than 20K per month or whatever. You may be doing great, right? But you're not close to getting access to this, from a standpoint of just revenue, right? Things can change in 1 year or less than that. But I'm just saying, from that standpoint, just within we freeze time in that particular time, if you're making 250K annually, you're not close to making or being able to get access to business funding without a PG. So don't even think about it. Like, if you're a newer business owner, you're not generating revenue, just don't think about it. Okay. This is the way we can look at this thing. Okay. You have different types of business funding without a PG. Okay. You have vendor credit. All right. Vendor credit is going to be your Uline, Granger, Quill, so on and so forth, like the tier 1 vendor cards. Okay. And then you have what's called corporate credit. Okay. Corporate credit is what I don't see a lot of people talking about, that we're going to discuss here in just a second. And then you have fintech companies. Okay. Fintech companies that provide corporate credit, aka no PG business funding. Okay. These are the main 3 types of no PG business funding that you're going to see. So let's talk about Quill, Uline, Granger, these types of guys. So if you've heard this before, like going and getting your tier list or your your tier one, things like that. This is not going to get you access to business funding without a PG. Nobody is going to care that you bought some paper towels or some envelopes or whatever that you're buying from these companies, and you bought that consistently for like 3 months, and now this grants you just access to business funding. The banks don't look at it like that. There's no bank that you're going to go to when you look at their requirements for business funding. Business funding in this particular case, I'm talking about business credit cards, business lines of credit, business loans. Nobody's going to look at that in itself, by itself. Okay. The fact that you have a tier one list completed, no bank is going to look at that and say, yeah, you know what? This person now qualifies for 100K. I'm going to give this person a 100K business credit card now because they were able to consistently purchase from Quill, right? The t-shirt company or whatever these tier one things are. Okay. And look, I'm not even saying that they don't matter at all. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying not to do it. It's just the mindset that you need to adapt, is that you're not going to take this and in turn flip it to business funding. That's the most important thing that I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but I will say that some of you guys focus on that stuff way too much. Your vendor credit, you obsessive about it. I don't know what it is about it or why that is that energy out there, but some of y'all don't play about this vendor credit stuff, and I don't really understand it. You don't really have to have as many of these accounts as y'all think, but it's good to have something reporting to the business credit reports. And that's the main thing that you're doing this for, is so that you can report accounts to your business's credit reports. Okay. Now here's the part that I want to talk about when it comes to corporate credit. Now with corporate credit, this is the requirement that I was telling you about. Let's look at this article here from LendingTree. It says corporate credit cards, how they work and how they are different from business credit cards or business cards. It says, while small business credit cards typically require a personal guarantee, corporate cards do not. You may be thinking, oh, snap, let me go ahead. I'm going to just start applying for corporate cards. Wrong, unless you qualify, right? It says, however, corporate credit cards are intended for large businesses and usually require your business to have an annual revenue of over 4 million. So it's not Colin that says that, right? Let's take a look at American Express. American Express, they also have a corporate program. Like if you go here to the website, if you go over here to the tab that says business, notice that it says business cards and then it says corporate programs. Okay. Business checking, business lines of credit, payment solutions, and then it says corporate programs. So if you click on corporate programs, this is going to be a different set of business cards than the standard business credit cards that we know American Express for. See, this says a corporate platinum card, a corporate gold card, corporate green card. I think we get the gist here, right? The gist of it. So let's look at their requirements, though. This is directly from American Express's website. Frequently asked questions, getting started. Okay. It says here, let me go to it. I think it's here at the top. Bear with me. Here we go. Okay. What are the company requirements for a corporate card program? To qualify, your company must have grossed over $4 million last fiscal year. To qualify, your company must have grossed over $4 million last fiscal year. Have a business address outside of the home, been in business for at least 12 months, and cannot be classified as sole proprietorship. You see, this is a corporate program. So you have where you're a business, right? And then you have that next level where you're at the corporate level. Because if you're at $4 million annually, then you're probably at, I would say 25 to 50 plus employees. You're not, for the most part, it really depends on the business. Obviously, A lot of people can do this, get this done with 10 employees or something like that. But even then, I mean, you probably have a ton of like contractors and things like that. We're talking about employees, meaning you're getting paid on salary, like, you're receiving a W-2 from that business. Normally that's going to be your corporate program. Like they have over 10 employees, probably 25 to 50 employees, so on and so forth. Now you're at the corporate level. Your business can stand on itself now, right? Your business can stand on itself. Now you don't need a personal guarantor. Okay, so whoever is the owner or the founder, that person cannot have the best personal credit, but they still can qualify for business funding because the business stands on its own. And look, you have to be able to prove this 4 million, right? I'm not saying you put 4 million on an application and just expect things to be all good, because for the most part, you really have to actually speak to a representative for the corporate programs, where you're not going to be able to just apply online and put $4 million and then they just don't check. So there's just no doc. No, you're going to need tax returns, going to need a debt schedule. You're going to need a profit and loss statement. You're going to need all these projections, things like that. There's going to be paperwork involved with this. If this is far above where you are, maybe so, maybe not. It really depends, right? But if this is far above where you are, then you have to understand that you need to let go of the idea of getting access to business funding with no PG. Let it go. All right. We're far beyond that. There's too much information here online for people to still be believing that, but a lot of people still do. And one of my whole goals of this channel is to just find 100 different ways of saying the same thing. So this is not my last time saying it. People need repetition, right? But that's one thing, one narrative I'm looking to destroy on this channel, is that you can get access to business funding without using a personal credit or using your personal credit at all, unless you qualify, right? A lot of times people ask about business funding and they like, how can I get this? How can I get that? It's about whether you qualify or not. It's not about the bank. It's about whether you qualify or not. Right. Anyways, what information will I provide when I apply? When you apply for an American Express corporate card program, please have the following in hand: your company's recent audited financial statement. So it ain't gonna be no PG. OK. Details on your company's structure and organization, because at 4 million minimum, and that's minimum, right? You could be at 10 million, 100 million, whatever the case. That's just minimum 4 million. And they probably, if you have 4 million, I mean, your odds are the lowest, right? Because you just barely qualify. So you're going to have information, right? It says audited financial statements. So financial statements could be bank statements, like I said, tax returns, things like that. So something to consider, but that's a different level. Okay. That's the corporate programs. Most banks have a corporate program. They have corporate credit cards, which is going to be different from your standard business credit cards, right? They're going to have much higher limits. Like these cards here can go up to 250K plus limits, but that's needed when you have a business that high. Like some people can't imagine spending $250,000 in 1 month, but these corporations that, are at $4 million plus, that's what you have to spend in order to make that type of money. Okay. That's how that works. Now, that's the standard corporate program, or what that entails, right? We could go in and talk about corporate programs more. You see eligibility, available for all types of businesses for business credit cards, but for corporate credit cards, normally it's just C Corps, S Corps, and maybe select LLCs there. No personal guarantee for the corporate cards, but you see what you have to qualify. But that's not the same for business credit cards. So if you're at this level, focus on the business credit cards. It's okay, right? It is okay. But that's this pretty much what I wanted to go over when it went to the corporate program. You see stringent eligibility requirements, as you see, only available for large corporations. All right. Positive business credit history is still required. You still got to have accounts and things report on the business credit side. Okay. All right. Now, let's get back to this. So don't even think about it. If you're not there yet, don't even think about it. But also, you'll see fintech companies thrown in here. So a lot of times, like a Divvy, I think they're called Bill now. Yeah, they're called Bill now. So you have Bill, that's a fintech, no PG expense credit card, right? They will not do a hard pull on your personal credit or use your personal credit at all. And there is a difference there. Sometimes people think like American Express, the standard business credit cards is no PG because it's no hard pull. No hard pull doesn't mean that there's no PG, because no PG can be a soft pull, meaning that they don't do a hard pull and or require a hard inquiry on your personal credit, but they still are doing a soft check, meaning they're not doing a hard inquiry. It's not reporting on your personal credit, but they did still check your personal credit. And if your personal credit wasn't eligible, you would have got denied. So Bill does neither. But the thing about the fintech cards is, one, normally the requirements are still just as high. Like for the ramp credit card, you have to have at least 75K in a business checking account just to qualify for this bad boy, right? So that's for ramp. And for most of them, like Brex, you have to have, an established business to be able to qualify for these products, even though they won't do a business won't do a personal guarantor either, or a personal guarantee. They won't require a personal guarantee. Now, with that being said, though, what is the difference here with the fintech companies? A lot of them are charge cards. Well, all of these examples here are charge cards. So meaning you're going to have to pay back the amount that you use in full every month on that statement. So if you use 20K, you're going to have to pay back 20K by the time the next statement is due within, 30 days. So it's not like where your standard business credit card where you can hold a balance for the most part, especially for the 0% business credit cards, you can hold a balance and still be good. That ain't the case here. Okay. That ain't the case. If you have your standard fintech cards, they are going to be expense cards and charge cards for the most part. So you can't even get around it there. Now, Bill, formerly known as Divvy, that card will give out sometimes. I've seen like a 9K, 20K limit, even higher, even if you don't have $4 million in annual revenue. Not saying that, but just keep in mind, it still is a charge card. You're going to have to pay it back in full. A lot of you guys don't like that. You want to hold a balance. So it is what it is, right? So I just wanted to break that down for you so you can truly understand the different programs that are available out here. There is no way to get a no PG high limit business credit card with no PG, and it's not an expense card. As a brand new business, it does not exist. And the reason why is the bank is trying to hold the person accountable, like they're mitigating their risk. This is a business. I don't know why people look at business things as like, I don't know, like it's something to play with, like it's not business or something, like it's personal affairs or something. But as a business is numbers, right? In contracts and agreements, a business has to protect its assets. So a business is not going to just give you 100K and 50K limits and stuff like that, and they have no way to know if you're going to pay it back or not. That's why they use your personal credit, right? And if you have gotten to the point where you can truly say, all right, this is a healthy business, it has a ton of assets, now that bank can feel better about lending out some money to you without even looking at your personal credit. Okay, but there is nothing in between. So let's stop it. So if you came here to this video thinking, I'm probably going to get some thumbs down. I notice when I make topics like this, I end up getting some thumbs down, but it's okay. So if you came in here thinking that it was just going to be sweet, you can just go in, no PG, and get 250K plus. It's not going to happen. But if you qualify, 250K actually is nothing. Like you could do $1 million plus in business funding if you qualify, if your business is doing the 4 million. I've had clients that had $1 million businesses, and a lot of times I don't even advertise these clients because it'll be better for me, right? From a marketing standpoint, it would be a lot better for me to say, I got this client 500K in business funding, but I don't want to mislead anyone. Right. In business, the best marketer wins, just to let you know. But even then, like from an integrity standpoint, I cannot do that. Like I can't just lead out with those businesses only and those business owners, because I already know that the reason we were able to get them much higher results is because their business was doing very well. Right. The person that can do well as someone that's assisting you on getting business funding, they have to be able to do that even if you aren't the perfect candidate, right? That makes a big difference. But if someone is doing like $4 million plus, it's going to be a lot easier for them to get approvals. But that's pretty much it. Y'all let me know if this helps. Like, did you learn anything? Right? If so, you need to drop a like right now. Do not leave this video without getting a thumbs up, because we need more business owners to see this information so they don't get swindled out there, right? We need to have the actual information. That's why I go to banks in their website, so we're not just, going based off of me. And also, this is Chase's corporate program too, as well, which they say asset-based lending solutions from $1 million to $1 billion. So you see, when it comes to the corporate program, up to $1 billion, but obviously you're going to have to be a $1 billion company to get access to $1 billion. But that's how Chase can get down if your business qualifies for it, right? It's not a problem at that point. But yeah, we're going straight to the source here. So you guys let me know if this helped. Like I said, make sure that you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and engage with me in the comments, man. Let's get to it. Until the next time I see y'all. Peace.